What is up, everyone? So last video you saw, we got the built short block and built head back from JP, and now we have all of our parts laid out to fully build this KHC and get it ready to drop back into the Sonda, something that should have happened a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Better late than never?
I guess so.
And on top of that, we are officially bringing the 8.6 to Spoon to get the engine bay painted so we can get right to work on this thing and, well, have some fun. So before we get into any of this video is actually sponsored, so, well, check it out. We spend so much time down here just trying to keep up on our vehicles that we tend to forget to keep up on ourselves. Most importantly, our diet. We seem to always take the convenient route, which leaves us with some pretty poor options. Until now. So Factor offers delivered fresh, never frozen dietary approved meals right to our doorstep. With a menu updating weekly, you could choose from 29 plus meals and 33 plus add-on options. With just 2 minutes in the microwave, you have yourself a gourmet meal with ingredients to help you feel your best all day long. All right, kill the B-roll. That smells too good.
It smells official. Wow. That was really good.
2 minutes in the microwave. I feel like a gourmet chef just dropped this off on my doorstep. So thanks to Factor, I no longer have to sacrifice quality for convenience. It keeps me and the boys fed, feeling good, and helps us focus on what we're good at, which is not meal prep. So head to go.factor75.com/JimmyO120 and use code JimmyO120 to get $120 off. Once again, don't miss out and head to go.factor75.com/JimmyO120 and use code JimmyO120 and get $120 off. But for now, let's get back to work. And just like that, we have to get back to work. So let's get this thing to Spoons.
That ain't going nowhere.
Nope.
And here we have Big Jim reversing the rig.
Let's see if Spoon's ready for us. That was a completely stock Jetta.
Jetta? What
Enough of that. Welcome to Spoons. They're caving here.
Damn, it's dark as hell. I feel like I just walked into Los Santos Customs.
Spoon!
Spoon on the Teggy.
He knows what he's doing.
Come on, don't play with that boy's name.
This is Spoon's daily driver.
This is hot.
CRX. Beautiful.
So last night.
What happened? That's why the hood is like up like that?
You done with that?
Poppy, what happened?
Rodney
Jerkins?
How'd you do, what? How'd that happen?
Dennis Rodman?
Rodney knocking.
Sorry about that, Papa.
Can't get mad at it. Put another motor in it.
Wasted.
Who's got a K20 for Spoon?
Come on, get my boy Spoon right. Talk to us nice.
Get Spoon right.
That's pretty sad, huh?
That sucks. This car's beautiful. Part of the game, Steve.
Happens. I'm learning, slowly learning, that the car game is a lot of heartbreak.
A lot of heartbreak. A lot of highs.
For sure.
A lot of lows, but also a lot of highs. So I'm gonna try not to die this time. I figured the technique out. Alright, you're good, let it go.
This is your new home now.
Alright, so we're here at Spoons to drop off the 8.6 because he's going to be painting the engine bay and probably the interior. He doesn't know that yet, but engine bay and the interior done first, so then we can get the drivetrain. So then we could do our part and get the drivetrain in there and just leave it in there, right? Yeah. I don't know. So, last video I asked what we should do for the color, if we should color match the engine bay and the interior to the outside of the car, or if we should do a different color. Here's the thing. Obviously, color matching will always look better and higher end. The thing here is, this is one car that I'm actually way more excited to drive than I am to look at it. It's not that I want to be lazy on certain things, but I want to do things that make sense, right? You don't want to have to worry about making sure everything's perfect for a nice color lay, and then have to worry about scratching it, keeping up on it, where if we do a black engine bay,
you won't notice it, you won't be pissed.
Your eyes won't be focused on the car show quality of the engine bay. It's gonna look nice. I mean, it's hard for us not to make an engine bay look nice. Yeah. I've never had a car that was so back and forth in the comments. Usually the comments are pretty strewed one way or the other. This car is damned if I do, damned if I don't. It truly is. So I think I've realized that I'm gonna do what I think is best. And I think we're gonna paint the engine bay black. As much as I wanna do a color, because
I agree.
That's like my, wanting to like make everything look fancy, but engine bay black, interior black, and then we could let the rest of the car and the engine tell the story. We're gonna leave this off to Spoon. He's gonna bang this out for us. He is the guy. So Spoon, good luck. All right, so we have to get this motor back together. So this shouldn't be too bad. Everything goes smoothly. I'm not gonna jinx myself, but step one, we're putting head studs in. All right. The block is nice and clean. We don't have to worry about fluids being inside our thread holes because it happens. So we're just gonna bottom these out by hands and just go through this step by step. Some guys put the ARP lube on the bottom threads too. Some guys don't.
Would you say they dip them like chicken wings in ranch?
Yeah. Gotta make sure they're all even too, because sometimes you'll get something in the thread holes like fluids that won't allow some of the studs to fully bottom out.
So give me the level I again.
All right, we're gonna use some acetone to get the metal prepped up, get all the oils and grease off the mating surface. We want a good sealing head gasket. We need a good sealing head gasket. All right, so now on to controversial part number one, the head gasket. So doing my research of things, it seems like the head gasket is always a very controversial piece, right? There's three main ones. We have like the OEM Felpro, we have the Cometic MLS, and then we have the Tomy MLS. Now the Tomy one, I hear way more bad things about it than good, so I'm putting that thing off the list. The Cometic one, I tend to hear more good than bad, but I do hear some stories. And then the OEM one, I actually hear some pretty decent stuff about, but it's only good up to 450, maybe 500, which for most people, that's plenty.
What are we doing with this?
I'm hoping to make a little bit more than that, at least for a couple hits. Okay. So I decided to go with the Cometic. And the only thing I'm a little worried about here is, well, they make a bunch of different thicknesses, right? OEM is like 1 millimeter about, so I tried to go OEM, but the only head gasket in stock for a long time is 50 thou, which is basically half of that. So we might potentially have some clearance issues with our valves. So since we don't have reliefs in the piston, they might touch. I don't think they're gonna.
What does that create? Vacuum leak?
That creates low compression if your valves hit your piston. So the piston is dished. So I'm hoping this creates the tolerance that we need to allow the valves to, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
All right.
It's fine. So we're gonna take this, try not to get my grubby fingers on it. And here's the thing, right? Controversial step number 2 is copper spraying your head gasket. Some people like to copper spray their head gaskets for extra sealing purposes. I, in this case on an MLS gasket, don't feel the need to, nor like to. So not using copper spray, some people are definitely gonna be mad at me, but KAs are not known for having good sealing head gaskets in any form. If you wanna make big power, you kinda either have to cut ring or O-ring it, but for this, we gotta use what we got. So the cam's gotta come out to allow us to get the head stud nuts on. So some heads you can leave the cams in, which is way too convenient. In this case, we're not that lucky.
So while Jimmy's taking the cams out, I'm gonna put the ARP lube on the threads.
Look at the technique.
You actually can't fit the washers in the head once the studs are in, so you gotta put these in first. You have to like slip it under. You see that? I know it's hard to see, but
There you are.
you see the washer?
Yep.
Yeah, so you have to put them on prior, or else they won't fit. You'll have to pull the head back off and you'll be pissed. Boom, washer. You need a nice, clean surface.
Great head work.
Great head work.
Hey, you.
Everything's great. How we looking, clean?
Clean.
All right, let's shove it down now. There we go. Make sure the washers are going in smoothly.
Like butter.
Are we down? That's it. Wow. All right, nice.
Get
I'm
another.
gonna want another one. This is the issue here. Give me all the built Ks, I'll take it. I'm telling you, I'm gonna put a built K18 to S15 one day. I know it's been done, but it just sounds like too good of a combo. It's a tight fit with these things. T-Bone, lube me up.
That's a better applicating tool than what you were doing before.
Since we're using ARP hardware, they have their own instructions, right? So it still uses the OEM sequence of tightening, but they have it recommended to 70 foot-pounds, which I can imagine OEM's different. We're using studs, not bolts.
So you're gonna listen to them.
So we're gonna listen to ARP.
All right.
So we're just gonna kind of snug the whole head down a little bit. Then we're gonna do stages all the way up to 70 foot-pounds. Classic head installation steps.
Great head work.
Great head work.
Crazy head work.
Crazy head work. I hate doing head
Just
studs.
try to get his face in there.
It just slips sometimes and it feels like you're stripping your block and you just pucker.
Puckers you
clear.
the wrong way.
Yeah. Hate that. Final torque. Come on. Love to see it. All right, timing component number 1. the main chain. Get a timing mark on this thing. Oh yeah, right there.
Yep. Yep, I see it.
Okay. And then we have this other discolored chain right here. We're gonna line up with a mark on the crank gear. There we go.
Inside.
Also, make sure your motor's at TDC. I don't know if that was a given or not, but as you can see, Steve, this chain is super loose because wide tone.
There's no guides.
What was that?
No guides.
No guides. For one, right here.
Nice.
Look at that.
That's to guide the chain.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna use the stationary guide right here. Get the tensioner on there. Boom. All right. Make sure it's still in time, on time, on time, and then, boom.
Pop out the thumbtack.
Love that. Time to drop the cams back into it, and since, you know, it's a fresh build, assembly lube never hurts, right? Because the first time these things spins, there's gonna be no oil on them, so we'll get them lubed up now, so it's just not metal on metal on the first startup. Love that. Don't be giggling at me.
Well, I didn't even say nothing.
Drop these bad layers in. We gotta make sure they're in a TDC starting position. All right.
All berry lube on it. The
No, it don't be
aquaberry.
smelling like strawberries.
It's not the aquaberry lube. Oh man, all right. You can kill it, Steve.
High five, Steve. Oh, you actually did it.
Come on, man. I ain't scared.
The cams are in. I'm just gonna seat them gently before I try and time them, right? So some engines you kind of have to lock the cams out. The K doesn't really care. Just gotta make sure it's in like a TDC position, which is lobes out this way.
Lobes out.
You see that?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. These are just an outside in motion. You gotta be careful because as you guys have seen in other YouTubers' channels, cams are very sensitive. Doesn't matter what brand they are, OEM, aftermarket. They're hard, but they're brittle, right?
Yeah.
So the chain system on here is pretty crazy, right? We have like the center gear, right? That we lock the crank to, and now we have to lock the cams to it.
Okay.
And these are double chained up, so these things are thick.
Those are.
So they're kind of a pain in the ass to put on because there's like not a lot of give in the chain because it's so damn thick. So we're gonna pre-time them right here. As you can see, there's like discolored chains, right?
Yep.
So we line them up with the little marks. There's another mark on the gear right there. Oh, something's not right. I'm doing something. What the hell am I doing wrong right now?
A few moments later.
All right, so we have potential issue number one. So I tried to set the cam timing down and I realized that the marking on the cam gears are wrong. Well, it's actually not the marking on the cam gears. The dowels that align the cam gears on the cams are not correct. So these are BC Stage 2s. They're a little older. They came out of a built motor for forever ago. You could tell where the dowels are supposed to be in terms of cam lobe position, and they're just not it. So I couldn't follow any marking to set cam timing, but I could just use some like educated guesses, right, on where the cam lobe is versus basically counting teeth on the gears themselves. So it could potentially be a degree off on one of the cams. Kind of sucks. We'll know pretty quickly once we run it, right? It'll run with 1 degree off on one of the cams, but it just won't run as efficient. So
Just have to adjust it in the car.
worst case, we have to take the front cover off and adjust cam timing, which isn't my favorite thing in the world to do, but it's not like we have to disassemble the engine if it's wrong, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. We're playing with the cards that we are dealt, and we're gonna kill it.
Word. Beep. Over tightening, Jim.
Nope. Hopefully that's great. This is the scariest bolt to tighten on a KA. It's very highly known to strip right out the head. I don't want to pull this all back apart, so. Oh my God. This would suck so much if it stripped right now. Beep, damn it. Come on, baby. Love that.
You good?
We're good.
We good.
We're good. At least,
Check it again.
at least that worked out. All right, we gotta torque the cams too. We haven't done that yet. Beep. Cam caps are real sensitive, just like Tony, so we gotta be careful. Love that. To make sure everything's good. Beep. So we're trying to feel out if
It's hitting.
it's hitting internally, but I don't think it's going to. It's just good measures, you know.
Yeah.
Feels good to me. You like that? I don't hear any crazy noises. Since our last motor probably had like 200,000 miles on it, we're actually gonna be replacing all the pieces of the oil pump. So the oil pump housing is actually the front cover, so you can't really buy a whole assembly anymore, but you could buy every other piece, which is like the whole internals. So everything's right here. So we got our oil pump gears, And that is gonna slide. There we go. Boom, just like that. Then we're gonna take our little housing right here, the backing cover, and we're gonna just kind of put it right here. The only annoying thing here is Phillips screwdriver heads. Love that Nissan. I don't know why they did it. Maybe it was a clearance thing, but we're gonna Loctite those when we put those on. Cool. Then you see how we have this little open chamber right here? I think it's pressure relief, right? Here's the bolt, crush washer, little seating washer. Put that in there. We're gonna go spring. Our plunger, we're gonna throw the little washer in there. Put it in there. And that's what we got. Oil pump is officially brand new. Now we got a new front main seal. If you guys didn't notice, Tony actually vapor honed the whole front cover so it looks brand new again. Shout out to Tony for banging that out yesterday. Make sure that goes in nice and even. Perfect, nice and flush. I think it looks brand new again. Last piece of the puzzle, one of probably the most important, or I don't know, they're all important, is the oil pump seal. It picks up from here, sucks it up, and then pushes out through this little hole right here. To seal that up, we have this. That's all we got. Take this, and you literally just, boom. That's it. That holds all your oil pressure. Let's RTV the crap out of this thing and, well, cover everything up. See that?
Honda Bond.
Honda Bond.
Honda Bond.
Because it's going in a Honda. Duh.
Why do they call it Honda Bond?
Because it's Honda's sealant. It's like the best shit ever.
It's the good stuff. Based in the cake.
So, there we go.
There it is.
Yeah. Good. That's good.
Damn good.
It's damn good. I got the upper cover. Boom. That looks so nice. I got new bolts for like most of the bolts, but of course the upper ones I don't have new bolts for. Rookie move there, Jim.
Speed.
A lot of RTV. Too much RTV. Get this thing sealed up, Tone. Come on.
Is it RTV or RTB?
RTV.
RTV.
I just mumble.
No,
RTV.
I've always wanted to ask that question.
You do a little. Love that. She's sealed, baby. Always love the red. Like the silver, the red, and the black. Good combo.
Fire.
I think it's because you wish it was an SR.
Don't be saying that. It's gonna be good. I was gonna say the only thing that the KA really has on the SR, well, once it's built, is the SR is a little bit prettier. But I mean, this ain't that bad looking.
No.
Especially once you get rid of the distributor and stuff. It's a good piece. Obviously, we're building this for Nisanda, which is a car that is going to be literally useless after like 300 horsepower, right? Because it's just such a small platform with small tires.
Yep.
This engine we were talking about potentially making some crazy big power with it. I know I got a lot of comments saying, you know, the head's going to lift because of the ARP head studs not going oversized and all that good stuff. And like, you know, the head gaskets are always controversial with the KAs, even aftermarket ones. But one of those things, it's like, I want to get a good power number for the dyno, obviously, for like the video, just to say, oh, my Civic can make 500 horsepower. But this thing is probably going to make 300 horsepower its whole life, but it'll make it forever. Yeah. A stock KA, I know it's arguable, but like 300 horsepower, even on ethanol, is like, you're every clutch kick you do in that thing, you're just praying. Mm-hmm. This way, obviously, not only is the head fully refreshed so it doesn't smoke its ass off, we don't have to worry about it. We just drive. We just have fun.
Have fun.
Kind of like the problem with the Sonda we built and everyone rags me for. We brought it to like 2-3 events and it started to fuck up pretty bad. And then we never touched it. And then it kind of became one of those things, it was just out of sight, out of mind, because we're always trying to do the next fresh thing, right? Yeah. I'm happy to have an engine in this thing so we could, you know, have more excuses to take it out, you know? She'll be outside this year. Sure. Love this piece. The K-coil conversion. Look at that. Beautiful.
Oh, nice B-roll, Steve. Oops.
Boom.
Rye's here.
What's up, dude?
Rye, what do you think?
I was just saying
it feels
how
good,
beautiful it looks.
The wrinkle red.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was an homage to the Honda boys. You know what I mean? It's like a B series thing or something. More B series with wrinkle red valve covers in the world than there is cars without wrinkle red valve covers.
That's why I did wrinkle red.
No, I know. It was just.
He was explaining to Steve.
Come on, James.
Oh, there's my bad. Yeah. So I got a Spoon oil cap.
It looks.
Shout out to Spoon.
Shouts to Spoon. He
Shouts to
painted the
Spoon.
8.6.
Now you know where Spoon's nickname came from.
There it is.
There it is.
Hilarious
sway.
that it fits.
Full sway.
This thing came together though,
Full
huh?
sway. Spoonteado.
All timed up. Looks so good.
So here's the issue.
Vapor hone.
The cam.
Issues.
Yeah, the cams were doweled wrong, so I had to guess cam timing.
They were you took the. What do you mean doweled wrong?
So they're
I watched the video.
With KAs, you could technically run the same cams, intake and exhaust, which someone probably already commented by now because that was farther back in the video. They dowel them to which side you're supposed to use. But the whole thing is, we could have swapped them and the dowels might have been right. I didn't even try it because the cams are marked exhaust and intake. So I put them in the correct location, but they're doweled opposite of that. If that makes sense. I don't know what the old story was. Maybe they're supposed to be switched around. But the fact that the cams, they literally are engraved with exhaust and intake, I went with that versus the dowel position. I don't know. Either way. Well, I took a gamble.
Dude, this thing is gonna run. This baby's a truck engine in disguise, all right?
It's gonna run.
It's gonna run.
I just want to reliably make 350 horsepower. That's all. But like, what's sick is 350 horsepower of a KA hits because it has torque. It's sick. It comes in hard. Like SRs are like making 350 with an SR. It don't hit like 350 on the KA.
Did this? You're getting a new manifold.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I might, since we already have everything, I might just throw it all back together so we can get the car running and we can enjoy it a little bit.
That had good gate control before?
Oh yeah, it's fine. Somehow, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's like the shittiest manifold out of all of them.
Actually, I don't know if this manifold will fit now that JP ported the cylinders because it was like on edge.
The exhaust RTV works wonders.
Dude,
Worry about it when you get there.
Worry about it when it costs you a shitload of time.
no, dude, I feel like my whole entire life is just calculating like risk versus time because there's just not enough time in the day. I'll tell you that. I'm trying, guys. Everyone rips me for not driving my cars enough. I want to drive them, dog. I just don't got a time for it.
Yeah.
The lawn block is officially together, kind of. Well, yeah, it's a full lawn block now. So now we have all the accessories and we have to go through and kind of clean everything because when we took it apart, everything was kind of gross and dirty. And now we have to pay our dues on cleaning each bit before putting it on. Because we can put nasty old stuff on that fresh new engine. This is the time, so. Luckily, the engine never catastrophically failed, so it kept things clean. When your engine blows the fuck up, it makes a mess of everything. So wiping everything down, I have to paint a couple things. I don't go too crazy. Keep it simple. Looks good though. It makes my heart happy like seeing it like this.
I think it makes everybody's heart happy.
Everyone wants to see this on the back on the road. Now we can actually drive the damn thing.
Hope you guys are excited.
All right, I stopped filming because it's been nothing but spray painting and cleaning gaskets off of things. But the engine is coming together. It's almost ready to get to put in the car because we're gonna put the manifolds on in the car. And honestly, this oil pan took me hours. The KA oil pans, you basically have to destroy them, take them off. So clean the crap out of it, repaint it, and we are good to go. So got a lot more cleaning to do, but for now it is there. I'm tired. Got to wait for the clutch to come in, which should hopefully be in midweek, and we get this thing in the car. And unfortunately, I don't have another manifold just yet. But we're gonna throw this one on since it did produce half decent power before. Maybe not the most efficiently. It'll get the car going so we can actually enjoy it in the meantime. And hopefully I can get a G30 or something on this thing and a good manifold very shortly. And it actually gives me something to look forward to because unfortunately with this little manifold, it just almost feels like a waste. I'm gonna stop rambling on. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, we released our first Patreon exclusive podcast on the Patreon. The link is in the description. Check it out if you want. And besides that, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys very shortly.